know what? Most people don't talk about it when it comes to building an online business, the weekends. Because while everybody else was going out, watching Netflix, sleeping all day, I was working on my future. Tired, overwhelmed, busy, but deep down I knew it. I didn't want to stay stuck in the same life forever. And I don't regret a single weekend I spent at building my business. When I started building my business, I was working full-time at my 9-to-5. And during the week, I was extremely exhausted. Most days I barely had energy after work. So I became extremely intentional with my weekends. That became my build phase. Instead of only resting, I started using the weekends to learn skills, batch content, study marketing, test business ideas, build products, improve my offers, and no, it wasn't always balanced. Sometimes I was exhausted, sometimes I wanted to quit, but I had a bigger goal. I wanted the freedom. So my whole online business was built on the weekends. That's the truth. Because when you work a normal job, you don't always have time during the week. So I learned how to maximize the time I did have. For example, during very busy weeks, I would use the weekends to batch content all at once and schedule them for the whole week. That way, during the week, I could stay consistent online even while busy. And that is one of the biggest productivity hacks for online businesses. Systems. Because motivation comes and goes, but systems keep things running. I think social media romanticizes productivity too much. People think productivity means waking up 5 a.m., perfect routines, green juice, meditating for 2 hours. Real productivity is doing what needs to be done, even when you are tired. Especially after work, especially on the weekends, especially when nobody sees the effort yet. And that's the phase most people quit, because results are invisible in the beginning. But every weekend I worked on my business, I was building skills, and skills compound. So on my weekends, I spent learning sales, marketing, content creation, branding, digital products. Completely changed my future. And honestly, learning sales was probably the highest ROI skill, because once you understand communication, attention, storytelling, trust, everything grows faster. Your audience grows, content improves, products sell better, business comes easier, and that's what eventually allowed me to quit my job, travel more, work online, and build multiple income streams. I know sometimes social media pushes this idea that life should always feel balanced, but sometimes you need seasons of sacrifice. And I'm not saying never rest or never have fun, never go out, but if you truly want a different life, you will need to prioritize differently for a season. That's reality. There were weekends I stay at home learning skills while everybody else was outside. And yes, sometimes it felt lonely, but I had a vision bigger than temporary comfort. I wanted freedom, flexibility, financial independence, control over my time. And looking back now, every sacrifice was worth it, because now I have it all. I stopped trying to be perfect. Perfectionism is one of the biggest reasons people never build anything online. They spend months overthinking, redesigning logos, changing niches, planning content, consuming information instead of actually posting. So instead, I focus on consistency, systems, and momentum, because online business is not about being perfect. It's about staying in the game long enough for things to compound. And one of the biggest things that helped me to stay consistent was batching content during the weekends. I would sit down and create multiple posts, captions, video ideas, sometimes enough for an entire week, sometimes even for an entire month, and schedule all the content. Because instead of waking up every day stressed thinking, what do I post today? I already had content ready, which made consistent a way easier. And honestly, most successful creators are not more motivating than you. They just have better systems. That's a huge difference, because motivation disappears, but systems reduce friction. For example, having content prepared, having templates, scheduling posts, all of this save energy. And when you work full-time, energy matters. That's why I always tell people, don't try to build your business with motivation alone. Build systems that make consistency easier, because once you create systems, your business starts feeling lighter instead of overwhelming. One thing I realized building online is that the internet rewards people who stay consistent long enough. Not necessarily the smartest people, not the most talented people. The people who keep showing up, keep learning, keep improving, keep testing, those people eventually win. There were many moments I wanted to quit, especially when the views were low, sales were low, nothing seems to work, but deep down I knew it. I was building skills that would eventually change my life. And they did. So if you're currently working a job, building your business after work, learning skills on the weekends, feeling exhausted sometimes, I just wanted to say that you are not behind. A lot of successful online businesses were built exactly like that. Quietly, after work, on the weekends, one skill at a time, one post at a time, one product at a time. And honestly, I don't regret a single weekend I spent working on my dreams, because those weekends completely changed my life. And if you want more videos like this, videos that show you how to build a life where you don't need permission to live on your own terms, make sure to subscribe to this channel. I will be sharing more real stories, real strategies, and real steps to help you design a life that actually feels like yours. See you on the next video. Bye!